Let's just take a look at what we know, what we've seen, and what we have visuals of. First of all, and the telling visual is Donald Trump was shot at. He was hit with a bullet on his right ear. The bullet pierced the ear. It led to blood being seen very evidently on Trump's cheek. He was then taken off the stage. While being taken off the stage, he thumped his fist in the air and made a defiant gesture, mouthing the word "fight." Now, the next visual tells us where this shooter had fired from. It turns out that across from this rally venue in Butler, Pennsylvania, was a shed of approximately 1 floor in height, and on top of that, here is where the shooter is. At this point, from our understanding, the shooter has already been neutralized by the Secret Service. An AR-style rifle was recovered from this location. We have another visual where there are security officials surrounding this body. We'll be playing those out also for you shortly. Let's just take a look at what this area is like. It's a rural area. There are not too many buildings in its surroundings. It's not like many US cities where if a person is making a speech, there are several high locales from where potentially a shooter may have access. There are not too many around, and there is a layout that has come to the fore that tells us what the line of fire may have been. Now, if you see here, Donald Trump is addressing a rally at roughly this venue. There is a stage behind him. Trump is seated here. This is roughly where this shooter is believed to have fired from. This is the shed that we see in this visual above. And so he fired towards Trump. Trump was standing with his left profile, and the bullet hit his right ear. Trump was effectively right in front, perhaps looking towards where the shooter was, and some of these bullets perhaps killed the other rally goer, the one who has been confirmed to have been deceased, and may have hurt the two who are critical and are battling for their lives, on whom we don't yet know what their status is. So this is roughly what we know to have happened. These are a lot of visuals that are being shared on US media. The FBI, the Secret Service, and the other agencies have commented on some of them, not commented on several of them. There are also eyewitnesses who claim that they warned the agencies that there was suspicious activity. Let's listen in now. I'm told there is another response from a security official. Let's listen into that as well.
Law enforcement, I believe, acted heroically, quickly identifying and neutralizing the threat, as well as responding to assist the various victims. The FBI has maintained the lead on the attempted assassination. PSP will take the lead on the homicide and the shootings of the other individuals in the grandstand area. And so there are a lot of witnesses to be interviewed, a lot of things to be processed. Again, I think it's too early to say that. We have one shooter tentatively identified, but we're not stopping there. We're following up on a lot of information.
So that was another US security official. He was part of the briefing. I mean, there are multiple agencies who are investigating this, and really listening to this briefing, there were a lot of things that they essentially did not volunteer. They in fact stated that we're not trying to be cagey, but we are being a little bit careful. In fact, they have not revealed details of who the shooter was as well. Now, Srinjoy joins us, and Srinjoy, how shocking is it that such an incident has happened? Would you take us through, if you were to hear it happening for the first time, that such a thing has taken place, there has been an assassination attempt, how unbelievable is it for it to have taken place in 2024?
Yes, what you said right at the end actually makes it unbelievable. 2024. After all that has happened, so many presidents, there have been 46 presidents, 4 have been shot dead, 4 have been assassinated, and several have faced assassination attempts, the last being Reagan. Now, you imagine that that security people would be a little more careful. I guess it takes only one man and one bullet and one rifle. But it has to be said that now this shed will become as infamous as that book depository from where Lee Harvey Oswald had fired at John F. Kennedy. Now the point is, there are 2 or 3 things here as far as security is concerned. First of all, look at the situation. Butler is a little town. They call themselves a city. It's less than 15,000 people who live in Butler. It's, as you rightly said, very rural and very Republican. The western part of Pennsylvania is mostly Republican. The eastern part is very, very Democrat. Now, in this area, which is actually Trump territory, you have one man with a gun. Now, when you're a man who was president of America, has Secret Service coverage, aren't you going to sanitize the place? That's really the first question, even before Trump turns up. Then, here is a man with an assault rifle. Now, how visible is he going to be to all these other security people with Trump? The Secret Service, other people, local security officials. Now, couldn't they have spotted him before he had fired? Thirdly, of course, this is a much wider point. How easy or how difficult is it to get an assault rifle in India? If you're going to buy an assault rifle, you will not get one. But in America, even without a driving license in some cases, you can get weapons. And an assault rifle, which is used only by the Indian Army and similar organizations, is easily available to citizens. That's, of course, a much larger question. But clearly, someone has goofed. You don't sanitize the place. You don't even check when he's speaking, when he's on the stage. Normally, you will find security people looking 360 degrees. What happened this time? That's the second thing. It has to be said, though, that as soon as the shooter fired, there was an adequate response. The shooter has been killed, naturally. They call it neutralized or whatever. That is Americanese. But that has taken place, and very, very quickly, Donald Trump has been evacuated. He's taken to hospital. He's got medical help, and all of that is necessary, and it's been done very well. So the reaction to the firing has been very positive, and it has to be said that it's a matter of an inch. If maybe his head was turned in a different way, then it would be very, very tragic and very different. The second point is very clearly the fact that the timing is so important. Right after this is the Republican National Convention, and there Trump will be anointed as the Republican candidate to fight President Biden, which is in November. So from now to November is what? August, September, October, that's all. That's just 3 months. And then 100 days, roughly, from the elections, 100 and a bit. And it is an important moment. The electorate in America, I don't know how many it will be, 110 million, 120 million people who will vote. Which way will they vote? Currently, the president is down by 3-4 points. Right. Now the question is that if the president is down by 3-4 points, what will it do to Trump's lead? The only question people may also ask, I mean, apart from a sympathy factor, here is a man who's just been shot. Apart from that sympathy factor, the question is regarding these weapons. Do American citizens want their politicians, their colleagues, their friends, their children to have access to these weapons? Right. And the answer here is clearly yes or no. Biden wants these banned or strong checks on this. Trump, sadly, did not. What is Trump going to say now? Is Trump going to say that, yes, I still want no stoppages or no bans on the sale of assault rifles? That's a question that Trump will have to answer. But there are too many worries now, too many questions that still need to be answered by the security, the Secret Service, the FBI, lots of other people.
Absolutely, Shinjoy. In fact, I mean, as you speak on our screens, we've been showing the visual of the the Secret Service's counter sniper who appeared to have also fired back. Too late, I may say, because the bullet had grazed Donald Trump, and like you said, it was just inches. The bullet hit his ear. It could have been his head. It could have been much, much worse.